How's it going, folks? I've got a fun little plugin you might want to try out. It's called Wave Observer from Press Play. Now, I completely forgot I downloaded this and then came to a session today and I saw Press Play. What the hell is that? Opened it and remembered, oh, actually, this is really useful. So it's kind of like an oscilloscope and you can see the waveform of whatever you put it on the track of. It's best if I just show you because it's really cool. So here it is. This is on the stereo output. Now, this is a track I'm just working on at the moment. It's in real demo form. But you can see if I'm just going to bypass everything first. I'm actually going to put a limiter on this. It's just going to be a standard. It doesn't even matter what kind of limiter. That's really big. And bypass it first, and then we'll shove a bit of something into it and you'll see exactly what it's showing. So without the limiter first, you can see essentially the waveform of your track. Which in itself is quite cool. If you think of it as I did in a kind of a mastering context, you can see when you're crushing stuff without having to export the entire file and bring it back in and then take a look at this obnoxious sausage of audio that you've created at -4 LUFS. Don't do that. So you can actually change the duration of this. I've got it at the longest at the moment. If you have it at the shortest, it tends to whiz by and kind of give you a headache. Not a lot of use in that, so I tend to have it at the longest. You can zoom in on the kind of vertical axis, which is handy. You can also go in left mode or right mode, or obviously in stereo, and you can change it from envelope to waveform. So this one, I don't know, it's not really that useful for me. But there's two things here. Firstly, when using compression, this is a great tool and kind of an educational tool. And secondly, when you're on the master bus. So we're on the master bus now, so let's just take a look. I'll slam a load of gain into it and attenuate the output, and we can see just how kind of sausage-like we're making the audio. So let's bring it in. That's an extreme example, obviously. But I find that really useful to not have to actually export the entire file out first and then bring it in to be able to see what's going on. So the second place this is cool as a kind of educational tool is I've got it on a snare track now and I've got it on a trigger track. So I've got a compressor and then after that, I've got Wave Observer. If I just bring the input of the compressor down, so I'm not shoving a load of signal into it and then pause it, we'll see the waveform. Cool, so we've got nice load of transient there and kind of the way that we'd expect a snare to look. If I slam a load of level into it and turn my compressor on, then we'll see something very different. So just to kind of compare those two, obviously there's a drastic difference there. I found this really interesting because it's actually compressing the positive side of the waveform more than the negative side, which I didn't know it did. So that's cool. But if we do something at a bit more kind of normal times, just hear how it sounds and more importantly, look how it sounds. So that's the interesting one, isn't it? The attack and the release. So I've done a video on why I think the release is the most important control on a compressor, and I genuinely believe it is. You can check it out at the top. But you can really see on the oscilloscope why that attack has such an impact on the sound. If I just go from really slow to really fast, you're going to see it. Okay, so that's attack 10, and then bring it down. Just those two. It's an educational tool. You can see exactly what it's doing to the transient, but also we can do that to the release portion of the sound. So if we bring that to a fairly normal kind of 5, let's have the release at its slowest setting and start it again. Okay, so you can see how the tail kind of just washes away pretty quickly. But then if we bring the release all the way to its fastest, just look at the difference between these two. This one and this one, and that's not by changing the attack ratio or threshold, it's just the release control. That's why it's so important. So I kind of feel like this is such an important tool because it shows you what's going on. In the initial context of mastering, it was great because for me, I wanted something that was going to show me how sausage-like I was making my track without actually having to export it. And that did exactly that. But then as I kind of got thinking a little bit more, it's great for seeing the compression. I'm not saying you're going to use this on every single track. It's just cool to observe sometimes what's going on. And I'm sure there are many, many different ways that you can use this. I'm 99% sure this is free. I'm pretty sure I didn't pay for it. So go and check it out. I'm going to put a link down the bottom. Wave Observer from Press Play. Yeah, let me know if you can think of any kind of creative ways of using this, any ways of looking at stuff to see, I don't know. I'm kind of using it as a fun little tool at the moment, but maybe there's a creative use. Yeah, let me know in the comments and I'll see you again soon. Take care.